huge problem across the country with corporate goons like the do nothing Democrats and hate filled Republicans. And Emanuel Clever is a perfect example of a polished politician who's a yes man, been compared to an Uncle Tom. And I'm going to go over the history of Emanuel Clever here. Uh, but first, you got to understand that Kansas City ranks among the worst in when it comes to homicide rate. We're number 8 in the country. We have a huge homeless problem, 1,543 different homeless campsites that we know of, most of whom are directly in the Jackson County, Missouri side, where Emmanuel Cleaver is directly responsible for. You have to understand that the problem got so bad that KC Tenants and the KC Homeless Union got together and protest back in 2021 and basically occupied, which was downtown Kansas City, and occupied areas in which they were going to be seen, saying, "Hey, we're working, yet we can't afford an apartment here. There's no affordable housing." And so the protest got bigger and bigger, more and more coverage. Uh, Politicians scrambled to do something about it. You had uh, corporate goon Quit Lucas and Emmanuel Cleaver come up with a genius idea on how to get him out of the downtown area by essentially putting him up in a hotel for 90 days. Now, what they did during this 90 days, instead of working towards something progressive, they essentially fenced up all of downtown Kansas City, Missouri, uh, the lawns, anyways, and said, "Well, we can't have people here no more because there's construction on the garage." And it's been a few years now, and we know that that was a bunch of BS. Uh, those fences are still up to this day. That protest left a mark here in Kansas City and made us aware of what was actually happening here in Kansas City. We got to remember that Emmanuel Cleaver is has a history of being called Uncle Tom, because let's remember, even though he was the chair of the Black Caucus, he essentially backed Hillary Clinton over Barack Obama. I mean, not that Obama did a whole lot more, but this is a guy who claims to be for the African American community, but never once did he do anything for them, really. He's perfectly happy with the status quo. He has a history, even called Hillary Clinton, even compared Hillary Clinton to baby Jesus, for God's sakes. And I'm going to put a link to the video, or probably put up the video here, of where he compared her to baby Jesus herself. I mean, it's pretty amazing that this yes man corporate goon is like still in office, because uh, let's remember, this guy voted with Joe Biden, one of the most unpopular presidents in U.S. history, 100% of the time. And this is according to the 538.com. He has a history of voting with the Democratic Party 98.5% of the time. And I made a video about how the corporate Democrats and Republicans are both perfectly happy with the status quo of illegal immigration in the country. And the reason I'm saying this is that it benefits the donors that put him in office in the first place. And when I mean the donors, I mean the corporations. The corporations are hiring these illegal immigrants that are coming in the country for next to nothing, which directly affects the pay of the American people. Let's remember, our minimum wage is about $7 and something cents an hour. I mean, it's next to nothing. Not enough to get an apartment. Not enough for a person, a single person, to make it on their own. And so this politician is perfectly happy with the status quo of what's actually going on in the country. You have the hate-filled Republicans yelling that the border is wide open, come on down. You have the do nothing Democrats not only letting them in the country, but you have the do nothing Democrats delaying the asylum process so long that these people stay illegally in the country, and again, directly benefiting the corporate donors that fund them. And so, um, when you're happy with the status quo and you vote with what's popular, like Emanuel Clever seems to do, was when I say what's popular, I mean what's popular in Washington, in his corporate donors. Uh, it makes a huge difference because you have a guy who's essentially saying, who essentially voted for giving aid to to Israel to bomb Palestine, even though we know, based on the history of America and how we deal with terrorists, is that we send Navy SEALs to go murder. For example, we should have sent Navy SEALs like we did Osama bin Laden, by the way, like we should have done with Hamas. But no, instead we're dropping 2,000-pound bombs on residential streets, killing thousands and thousands of innocent kids, people that have absolutely nothing to do with Hamas. There was no evidence that there was tunnels underneath the hospital that they bombed, uh, and yet they continue to do this for the big military contracts, the funding that they receive by these military contractors, and so Emmanuel Cleaver has a history of continuing to do uh, the status quo for Washington. The guy is going to be 80 years old here next year. Has a has a history of even looking like he has dementia. So I'll show a video at the end here, or I'll put a link to the description in the on the comments there. But basically, he has a history of, for example, he did a prayer, and after the prayer, you know how you say Amen. This guy said Amen and a woman. So I mean that tells you everything that you need to know about someone like this, and he needs to be out of office. And the corporate, the corporate hate-filled Republicans are no better, obviously, but we need change. We need change, and we need to get guys like this out of office. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.